Imagine being 14 years old, dressed in the finest clothes your family saved for years to afford. Fabric stiff with starch presses against your skin. Shoes you are not used to make every step deliberate. Your hair is braided carefully, not for comfort, but for appearance. Your mother adjusts the lace at your collar, pretending her hands are not trembling. She does not look at your face for long. If she does, she might hesitate. Your father watches you the way one watches a contract being finalized. He clears his throat. He says nothing. Silence is his agreement. Your brother drums his fingers against the wooden table, eager for an uncomfortable matter to be resolved. He wants the day to be over. So does everyone else. Everyone calls it a blessing. Everyone says, "This day will secure your future." No one explains why the older women gathered near the chapel refused to meet your eyes. No one explains why some of them whisper prayers under their breath instead of congratulations. Before sunset, a man you have never met will decide the value of your obedience. And this, they insist, is the merciful part. The iron gates of the big house gleam in the afternoon light. Whitewashed walls rise above the sugarcane fields like something eternal, immovable, as if they were not built by human hands, but by fate itself. Up close, the air smells of wax, coffee, leather, and incense drifting from the private chapel. It smells clean, ordered, controlled. Servants move quietly along the corridors. Their footsteps are practiced, careful not to echo. Enslaved men carry heavy trays without lifting their eyes. Women step aside when you pass, lowering their heads as if your presence itself demands submission. And somewhere inside, behind carved wooden doors and linen curtains, a ritual waits for you. Not announced, not explained, just expected. A matron places a delicate floral crown in your hands. The flowers are fresh, white, symbolic. Another woman records your name in a household letter. Ink scratches paper. The sound feels final. On the chapel altar, you notice a folded document resting beside a silver rosary. It waits patiently. It always does. In a few moments, you will understand why your family brought you here. In a few moments, you will understand why the doors of the big house close for me inside. In a few moments, you will learn that this ritual has nothing to do with devotion and everything to do with possession. This is not folklore. This was colonial Brazil. A system so normalized that contemporaries rarely questioned it, and so disturbing that later historians preferred to soften it, fragment it, or quietly look away. And when the stranger finally steps forward beneath the chapel's shadow, you will understand the true purpose of one of the most carefully hidden rituals of Brazil's big houses, and why history tried to forget it. If the hidden mechanisms of the past fascinate you, subscribe to Grim History.
And when you reach the moment that unsettles you the most, tell me where you're watching from. Let's begin. Her name is Maria das Dores, and this is where her story truly starts. Now, imagine yourself as Maria, standing at the threshold of the big house. There are other girls nearby, some younger, some older. Some try to appear calm, others stare at the tiled floor as if hoping to disappear into it. None of them speak. A woman hands you a simple floral crown. "Just tradition," she whispers, "a symbol of purity." They place it on your head like a crown that presses instead of shining. You smile because everyone else is smiling. You do what is expected. You always have. You are offered sweet bread and watered wine. Your hand shakes slightly as you take them. You kneel. You repeat prayers you barely understand, your voice dissolving into the low murmur of the chapel. From the outside, this looks like honor. From the inside, it feels like preparation. A man with ink-stained fingers writes your name into a thick ledger. Next to it, a note. Afilada, agregada, so protección. Protected. No one explains what that protection costs. This is where the story stops sounding sacred and begins to feel transactional. Maria learns quickly. First, the instruction, how to lower her gaze, how to speak softly, how to stand still when spoken about, not spoken to. An older woman teaches her how to keep her hands folded, how to sit without taking space, how silence can be more valuable than resistance. Another woman teaches her how to adjust her hair, how to use scents sparingly, how to never appear unwilling or too willing. A priest explains morality in calm, patient tones. Obedience brings order. Order brings prosperity. Prosperity pleases God. The logic is neat. The consequences are not. If you were Maria, would you call this guidance? Or captivity? It is easy to call girls like Maria protected. They live inside the big house. They eat better than those outside the gates. They wear clean clothes. They learn prayers, manners, posture. From the outside, it looks like privilege. The law reinforces the illusion. She is not enslaved. She is not married. She belongs to no man on paper. But the ledger never records consent, and it never records release. On paper, she is free. In reality, she belongs to the house. At night, when the oil lamps are lit and the plantation grows quiet, the big house changes. Public doors are locked, but men still enter. Landowners, officials, business partners, guests whose names are spoken softly but never questioned. They do not linger. Conversations are brief. Glances are exchanged. Decisions are made without Maria ever being asked. No one threatens her. No one raises a hand. The system does not rely on cruelty. It relies on inevitability. Maria watches an older woman leave one of the inner rooms. Her posture is trained, her expression fixed somewhere beyond the walls. No one shames her.
The house respects her service, and yet her life has narrowed. She will not marry freely. She will not leave unchanged. Her future has been sealed, without ceremony, without explanation. Some women call this security. Others call it survival. Maria calls it order. Once a year, the big house prepares a formal blessing. From the outside, it looks like devotion. Flowers, music, prayer. Inside, it feels like examination. Proof that favor has been purchased again. Maria is instructed to wear the crown once more. Doors close. Curtains are drawn. Records are prepared. Someone important is arriving. And in that moment, Maria understands. Whatever happens next will shape the rest of her life. Not through violence, but through permanence. The chapel is dim. Candles flicker against white walls. A crucifix watches silently. Maria lowers her eyes. A man steps forward. He is not cruel. He is ordinary, following a custom older than both of them. There is hesitation. Then agreement. Ink touches paper. A priest exhales. The document does not need many words. It only needs to exist. Once signed, it cannot be undone. Tradition says she must stand. And here tradition is law. This is not the end. It is the beginning. After. How women disappear. Time does not announce itself inside the big house. It seeps in quietly, measured in routine. Days begin to resemble one another. Morning bells, measured meals, assigned presents. Maria learns the geography of the house by instinct rather than permission. Which corridors she may cross. Which doors remain closed. Which rooms are never named directly. She is 14, then 16. No one marks the change. Her body changes before her status does. There are other women now. Some arrived before her, some after. One smiles too often. Another grows quiet. One day a name disappears from the ledger. No explanation follows. Waiting becomes discipline. Silence becomes strategy. Freedom is not denied. It is never offered. Years pass without being counted. Maria's name appears less frequently. Then only as reference. Then not at all. Space is reassigned. Records close. This is how women disappear inside systems like this. Not through scandal, but through silence. Historians debate because debate is safer than conclusion. But the ledgers do not debate. They reveal a system that functions smoothly, efficiently, quietly. Arrangements documented, roles assigned, lives absorbed. Some girls entered willingly. Some were offered by families with no alternatives. Some gained comfort. Most lost futures. Maria existed in the middle, elevated enough to be useful, and then consumed entirely. History does not preserve voices like hers. The big house recorded sugar, land, marriages, and wealth. Not fear, not longing, not regret. And yet the silence surrounding her name speaks clearly. She was never meant to be remembered, only managed. The big houses are gone. The ledgers archived.
The rituals reframed as customs, but the questions remain. Did Maria believe it was God's will in the end? Did she hope to leave? Or did she learn to stop hoping? History will not answer. Because systems like this never recorded souls, only transactions. And that is why the ritual was softened, renamed, and quietly erased. Not because it was rare, but because it revealed too much. If you want to remember Maria, and the countless women history accounted for but never honored, leave her name in the comments. Because silence was always part of the ritual, and remembering is how it finally breaks. Before we go any further, if stories history tried to silence matter to you, consider subscribing. Now, let's continue.